time for another episode of Leadership of the Leaf, now in their third season. More leadership topics to discuss and more cigar knowledge to share with great pairings. Grab a cigar, give it a cut and light, and put some smoke in the air with your host, Dice and Austin.
Welcome to another episode of Leadership of the Leaf. My name's Austin.
Hey, Austin, and I'm Dice.
Dice, what are we smoking here today?
Oh man, what we're smoking is it's a Buffalo 10. Buffalo 10 Connecticut.
Ooh, nice
Some may say it's a budget stick.
I can see that. It's not bad though so far. I mean, we just lit up. I mean, so I would say it's not terrible so far. So let's we'll obviously let you guys know our notes and our flavors as we continue on. But yeah, it's made in the DR. It's handmade, obviously. Buffalo 10 comes, let's see, a natural, Maduro, and a Connecticut, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. And this is the Connecticut version, so it should be nice and creamy, and this should be, I think it should be great.
Well, I believe we smoked a Buffalo on air before. I don't think it was the Connecticut. I think you had the Maduro, and I think I smoked I'm not sure. I have to go back through the notes to find out. But yeah, is it box press or would you say semi-box press? Because mine's more of a rectangle.
I was going to say it's a very severely box press one. Like they flattened this into like a pancake type box press.
I don't mind it.
I don't either. It's interesting.
So I did a punch on mine. There wasn't really much room or diameter, so just slightly off. I would have really messed the sidewalls of if I punched this slightly off. So I did punch mine. I'm curious, what did you do with yours?
I did a straight cut because of that reason. I didn't want to do deep V because I was afraid of ruining the cap. So I just did a nice straight cut, and yeah, it worked out pretty well. Because it looks like it's double cap at the end. So, it worked out pretty well so far. All right. But, all right, well, let's see. Now I got to know, what kind of Hennessy are you drinking?
Oh, my friend. Oh, man. It's just VS. Nothing uber special. I made it special. I got some blood orange in the bottom that I set in the freezer for quite some time. And then after I poured my Hennessy on top of it, I smoked it. Oak.
Nice. Okay. Well, I also have a smoked drink.
Oh, look at that. We're smoking 2 times, bro.
I made a smoked old fashioned.
Oh.
I made it out of Jim Beam. Nothing special, nothing crazy. Just a straight Jim Beam old fashioned. I smoked it, I believe, oak.
But hey, the thing is you said nothing special, just like I said, nothing like special, right? But
you make it special, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you smoking and it's like, oh, elevated.
Yeah.
I can charge $7 instead of $5.
It's like putting lipstick on a pig.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Chitter chatter. Cigar topic is
what is PCA? PCA. What's it all about? What's going on down there?
Well, I know in the cigar world, people gets to using these acronyms and all this stuff. Not everybody knows what the hell a PCA even stands for. Sometimes, you're in the cigar lounge or whatever, and somebody's talking about the PCA, and you're like, yeah, that crazy old PCA. You don't want to look stupid and be like, I don't know what that is.
Right. I agree. So let's talk about it. And I know we're a little bit late. Yes, we know PCA already happened. We understand that. It has taken us some time to get through all of our editing and all of the content from PCA, not to mention organizing the cigars from PCA. So it's taken us a little bit of time. We want to talk about PCA, and then we're going to try to release some of our PCA content in the coming weeks. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So, we want to make sure everybody knows what the hell we're talking about when we say PCA. Then we're going to release the PCA content as we finish editing and getting through everything. But before we get into what is PCA, what is our leadership topic?
Our leadership topic is about decision making. It's kind of like
Which one do we do first?
a Fisher-Price guide to decision making.
Fisher-Price guide. See, I like to say we're going to break it down Barney style.
Play school, Fisher-Price, my first decision making.
Break
it down Barney style.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Have you ever asked somebody asks you a dumb question and you're like, this is how you do it, and they're like, I still don't understand it. Let me break it down for you Barney style so you can make sure you understand this shit.
See, well, I throw my name in it. Dice dummy terms, dice dummy.
I got it. I like to crush their soul a little bit as I help them. If it's a really dumb question. How do I tie my shoes in the morning? You tie them. I don't know. Fucking loop to loop and pull, bro. Like, I don't fucking know.
What's that rabbit song?
No, I don't understand how you do it. Oh my god. Anyway, all right. PCA. we're gonna get off on a tangent here real quick.
Oh my gosh, this mother.
Right.
All right.
PCA. What does PCA even stand for?
Premium Cigar Association.
Hey. So, PCA, Premium Cigar Association, is basically, to give you the overall arching term, it's an association of premium cigar sellers and retailers and makers that come together and they have a big show. That's the PCA trade show. And they make a big show about this and they unveil new stuff, people buy new stuff for their lounges, all that sort of stuff. So it's about growing the business of specialty tobacco retailing.
Right. Premium. That's the key word for PCA is the Premium Cigar Association. I know it says cigar,
like Black and Mild?
Yes, exactly like Black and Mild. Premium quality, that tip of plastic. Oh, no.
They have wood ones now.
Well, the wood is the original, actually.
Yeah.
I would know, It's not just cigars. They also, if you remember, there was pipe tobacco.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very small facets that deal with actual premium cigars. You know, the lighters and everything. Not like TPE. TPE, which stands for
Total Product Expo.
Man, look at you. You've been studying, haven't you?
I have. I read a book the other day.
Total Product Expo, basically how I described it was if you can smoke it, they're going to have it.
Yeah, that came with vape. That came with cone wrapping papers if you are of a certain persuasion, 420 friendly, as I think the youngsters used to put it. Now they're oldsters, so I'm gonna date myself. Stuff like that. They have everything. They have cigars. They have cigarillos. They have cigarettes. They have Hustler was there at one point. We talked about them. We have a cigar from Hustler, which we still have to smoke on air, which is, I can't wait for that one.
Was we smoking that one on air? Oh, yeah. I can't wait either, man. Woo!
We'll see. We'll see if we can get that one on air. Dice doesn't like to wait on stuff. He's not a patient person.
Nah. I hate waiting in line too. Did I ever tell you that?
I have a perfect place for you to go. I thought. Wait a minute. What's that joke from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? Leave it to me. I'm British. I know how to cue.
That's funny. I have not watched that, but what you just said was funny.
Okay. Anywho.
I'm sorry, I'm not a what do you call yourself now? Oh yeah, I'm not a nerd.
It's a movie.
Yeah. Yeah, nerd movie.
Really?
I have no idea. I haven't seen it, so I don't know. I'm not a nerd.
Okay. All right, we've got completely off track. Right. Can we get back to PCA, you motherfucker?
Yes, PCA. Growing business of the specialty tobacco is a leading authority and advocate for the premium cigar and pipe retailer industry. It is definitely for the cigar experience. Now, it's not for all of tobacco. I mean, of course, a win in the cigar world is a win for all of tobacco, but its primary focus is the cigar, the premium. And then the secondary focus is tobacco as a whole.
And when we say advocate, we're talking like advocate up towards like the FDA, the federal level, that sort of stuff. Because, you know, there's been push from the FDA to ban flavored cigars because they lump cigars and cigarettes in the same category. It's all tobacco.
Boo.
Now, we all know that cigarettes have bunch of extra additives, and what we smoke is premium handmade tobacco that doesn't have the extra additives, that doesn't have all the carcinogens, and all that sort of stuff. So they're lobbying the FDA, they're lobbying the federal government, they're doing all the lobbyist stuff to try to differentiate what we smoke as premium tobacco from cigarettes and cigarillos.
Well, their home office, their base office or whatever, base camp, whatever you want to call it, it is located in Washington, D.C.
Right.
I believe the name of the street is actually Capitol Hill. It's in a note somewhere. I didn't put the actual address, but it is located in Washington, D.C. So they can fight Capitol Hill.
They're dedicated to the current and future successes of brick-and-mortar premium tobacconists. Again, they go to the fight. They make sure we don't get shut down. The states have various levels of taxation on this. Like, I know where I'm at in Illinois, they have what's called a clean air tax, where they tax all tobacco sales at a higher rate than normal sales tax.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Ooh, your cigars are more than mine then.
Probably. That's why I tend to buy mine offline, because it kind of circumvents that.
Oh, I gotcha. They were founded a long time ago, around 1933. When they started off, they were known as the Retail Tobacco Dealers of America. And I guess that didn't really have a good enough ring to it, so they just changed it. Yeah, we just go by PCA now.
Yeah.
You alluded, they're the largest, most active, and longest running trade association that represents tobacco retailers. They support manufacturers and partners in the industry. Now, I was looking a little deeper into the tobacco retailers, which of course is brick and mortars, support manufacturers, which is, you know, the people that makes and grows the tobacco. I guess they don't make it. They cultivate and grow tobacco. Shut up, Austin. And partners in the industry. Partners in the industry is where where I really paid attention to, because they're not talking about just people that make the cellophane and the people that make boxes and stuff like that. They're also referring to you and me. Yeah, what? You and me. Yeah,
us together.
We was able to go to PCA because we are partners of the industry. In the industry. Can I be Ivory?
No.
Oh.
They protect, promote, and inspire participation and growth within the premium tobacco industry. Memberships offered to all the retailers, manufacturers, and industry partners, such as brokers, distributors, suppliers, and media. Being a member gives direct connection to every facet of the industry. They offer webinars, they help educate others in the industry, and voice what's happening at Capitol Hill, as well as continue to fight for premium cigars. Now, what I want to know is, what is your fight like with this cigar, and have you reached your first third yet?
Well, I will be happy to advocate. I'll tell you about my first. Yeah, I've been finding the cigar. I think you're having the same issue because I can see it on camera. Mine is burning wonky. Very like I need a touch up, but look at that. What is that? Buckwheat growing out there? What the hell is that?
It looks like it mushroomed out. Like you hit it on the head with a ball peen hammer or something.
Yeah. So I know or I get it that it's considered a budget stick, and the first one I remember did not smoke like a budget stick, but this one is definitely smoking like a budget stick.
What's your flavor profile from this?
Cedar and nutty.
Okay. I'm getting. I get a little bit of cedar. I get a little bit of nut, but I get some like white pepper, almost like menthol-esque notes.
I got a hint of spice, but not really enough to write about. You know?
Yeah. Who knows? I may be farther in than you. I don't know.
Thank you. Yeah, you're a little bit ahead of me, but if I get menthol, I'll definitely let you know.
It's just I had a taste. I was like, oh, is that a menthol? Yeah. The cigar is burning wonky for both of us.
For those that don't know, wonky is a tobacco term, meaning that it's not burning properly.
Yes, wonky is a technical term. Means funny, weird, misshapen, all the things that Dice is.
Hey, I'll take it.
All right. So, yeah, being a member gives direct connection to every facet of the industry. They offer webinars, help educate others, voice their concerns at Capitol Hill. We already talked about all that stuff. And then they have this cool thing, which is the Tobacco University.
Yes, that's definitely where they really hit home, I think, because if you truly look at the makeup of it, truly the small business owner, it makes about 84% of the PCA, because a lot of them are just single store owners throughout. So,
right,
to educate, they have this Tobacco University, independent academic institution that educates and certifies and promotes retail tobacconists.
Yeah. Workshops to help educate retailers, learn practical tips and techniques on how to improve everyday business. You can get how to start a cigar shop in your state, guide to help you get started or when to start a cigar shop. And of course, they hold the events like the PCA convention and the International Trade Show. And then they also publish a magazine.
I was trying to find the magazine. The magazine is digital, which is okay.
Everything's going digital nowadays.
Print
media is dead.
I see. You know what? I do agree with that.
Print media is how often? Okay. Don't get me wrong. I love bookstores. Love going and reading books. But when's the last time you literally like grabbed a magazine out of your backpack on a flight and sat there and read it versus just having a page downloaded on your phone and scroll.
You asked the wrong person.
Or a book versus a Kindle.
Twice you asked the wrong person. You asked the wrong person.
What you got in your hair, asshole?
Well, I got so many magazines. I sent you a magazine I got a duplicate of.
I know.
I read those magazines. Books, I prefer the book. I have a Kindle, but
I'm not saying I don't prefer
my
the
Kindle
book.
My Kindle is dead because I never use it. I picked the book up. It's true.
I know. I'm right there with you. I do the exact same thing, but I'm just saying, like, for the masses.
That's why I said you was asking the wrong person. For the masses, you were correct. Correct, Namundo.
Okay.
Oh, look at that. He's pouting.
I hate you.
What I thought was real cool about the Tobacco University is the tips and techniques and everything for starting a cigar shop in your state. The guide for starting a cigar in your shop in your state. Because a lot of times you're like, hey, let's do a cigar shop. Where do we begin?
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
Let's go to Tobacco University.
Yeah. No, that is really cool because they do that. That takes a lot of time, a lot of research because every state is different. If you try to start a tobacco shop in Texas versus a tobacco shop in Massachusetts, or New York or something. Those are two completely different ends of the spectrum.
Absolutely.
So you got to know what's the law, what's the taxes like, how do you need to price everything. You know, you go to Arizona versus California, or Nevada versus Montana. All of these things are way different.
Well, I see they also have like webinars and different things on the actual site. So whenever they go to Capitol Hill and try to fight something, a lot of times they have a webinar or open forum. Yeah. So we as the partners in the industry can be in the know.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's awesome. I think the webinars are great. You know, it really helps us make sure we're in tune with the industry, especially with so many different changes coming down from the FDA and fights happening every single day, like the flavored tobacco stuff, getting premium cigars as their own separate category from cigarettes and cigarillos and all this other stuff. Because really, you have to define things, and if you leave anything vague, people will take advantage of it. We've talked about it before. They went from, we're going to tax cigarettes, and cigarettes are this way. Well, if you just consider a cigar as rolled tube of tobacco, cool, that's without a filter. Well, I can take my filter off my cigarette. Now it's a cigar, and they're going to call them mini cigars. Well, now that fucks everybody in the cigar industry.
Yeah. And I do know, because I pay attention to it quite often. I'm pretty sure you do too. The PCA site, or whatever their news, their blogs and everything, they get news like as soon as it happened. Like when we won that FDA, I say we, like I was part of it. Well, I guess I kind of am. When we won the FDA battle of actually separating the two, because for the longest, as everyone knows, they group all the tobacco together. But because of the PCA and foundations like that, associations like that, they actually won at Capitol Hill to actually define the difference between a cigar and a cigarette, like you was describing. They actually won that. And I remember we had a podcast, and that was part of the news that came out, so we had to share the news at that time. I can't remember how far back it was, but I remember actually saying, hey, it's a victory for us, but we haven't won yet. But that was a big battle. That was a good swing. Yeah,
it was a great swing. I loved it. Are you in your second, third, or you want to take a break and then come back?
Let's definitely take a break and come back.
Okay.
I think I'm about to touch this up or something. Something's going on.
Sounds good. Yeah. We'll take a quick break. If you guys think of anything that we missed that PCA does, by all means, let us know on our Instagram at Leadership of the Leaf. Let us know in the comments. Also, since this is May 15th, yes?
Yeah.
So
yes.
let's do a belated May the 4th would be with you, and happy Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo.
Hey. So we'll take a quick break, and we'll come back with our second, third, and then we'll jump into our leadership portion, which is the Fisher-Price version of decision making.
I don't know if you remember the picture I put on Instagram for Cinco de Mayo. You'd never guess what I drank. You don't remember? Yeah. Of course it was Hennessy. But Cinco de Mayo, what did everyone drink on Cinco de Mayo?
Fucking margaritas.
Right. I didn't have a margarita, sir. I had a Henny-rita.
Yeah.
All right. That's enough of that. All right, we'll be back after this break.
Have you ever wanted to suggest a new leadership or cigar topic to your favorite podcast?
I would like to, but I don't think they would listen.
Well, that's not the case with Leadership of the Leaf.
Really?
Yeah, only thing is you need to do is comment on their Instagram at Leadership of the Leaf, all one word, and they'll listen.
I'm on the Instagram page right now. There's a link in the bio. I can even email them.
You can also send them a private message, and they'll respond to your query.
Queries? Did you just say queries? Does that mean question?
Yes, it does.
Well, good. I have a few queries about cigars and a few about leadership.
Well, that's great. I can't wait for the next episode.
Hey, it's Michelle from Cigars with M on the Leadership of the Leaf podcast with Dice and Austin.
leadership portion of Leadership of the Leaf, because we just talked about PCA, Premium Cigar Association, and my co-host here, he was like, I can't wait to talk about the second third of this cigar. I mean, please share with the class.
Second third of this cigar is absolutely nothing to write home about.
No.
The fact that we asked each other what they're getting for the second third is, what are you getting for your second third? Nothing. What are you getting for your second third? Nothing.
That doesn't make for very good podcasting, so puff some more. Chew on that smoke.
There's a creaminess to it, which is indicative of a Connecticut, right? There's a little bit of an earthiness. I don't know if I get any pepper or anything like that, but it's like a creamy, earthy tone.
Well, I would definitely second your creamy, earthy tone, but I'm hitting some pepper on the back end.
It's there. It's very faint though.
It was a light spice for me at the beginning, but it's definitely moved to more of a black pepper. I would say more black pepper than white pepper on my palate. Yeah. That's what I'm getting.
I get it on the very back end, like maybe on the lip type area. Yeah, it's very light. It's very, very light, which is it's Connecticut, right?
Yeah,
and that's what a Connecticut should be.
Well, I mean, I'm really reaching for that, and to be honest with you, I don't want to reach for what I'm smoking. Yeah. I don't want to reach. I don't want to fight a cigar. I don't want to fight to try to light it. I don't want to fight to try to cut it. I don't want to fight to try to get the flavors. I don't want to fight. A cigar is relaxing. And for this podcast, I'm trying to get the flavor notes for it, and it's a little frustrating, especially the way it's been burning. The ash is flaky and all over the place. I guess we can already see where this cigar is going.
Yeah, you shouldn't have to fight. It should be just so easy. You should be able to do a step-by-step checklist to get your notes for your cigar, similar to how you should have a step-by-step checklist to decision making.
Oh man, halfway through I saw where you was going with that. Not at the beginning.
I thought you'd like it.
I did like it. For those that don't know, that was a segue. Right, like boom.
Beautiful
boom, right
segue.
Right into the leadership topic.
It was a great segue.
Right into the 7 steps to decision making.
Hey, we're going to break this down Fisher-Price style, dice dummy terms, Barney style, whatever you want to call it. But let's kind of dive into it, because I want to get something straight up off my chest. And I don't know, have you been keeping count of this? Because if you haven't, you should. I would actually love to know if somebody kept count of this. Because we're about to say something I think we've said at least 10 times before on this podcast, and it's a recurring theme, and yet people don't seem to understand it. But communication
that's it. Take a shot, take a puff of cigar.
Part of being a leader, and another important part would be decision making. So here's my key: if you think you're communicating and people are still confused, you're not communicating. You are giving vague fucking instructions. Rethink what you're doing. Okay, got that out of my head.
Sorry, I interrupted you. I absolutely interrupted you. But as many times as we say the word communicate in some form or fashion, I want the listeners to grab their drink, take a drink, and puff the cigar. Or vice versa, whatever. I want that combination to happen when we say communicate.
I want to talk about a drinking game. Right before the first episode.
Like, honey, get the big bottle. They're going to talk about communication on the leadership.
There's a drinking game with one of my favorite movies, Boondock Saints, and it's every time they say a curse word, you take a shot. Do that with Leadership of the Leaf. Get the big bottle and a lot of shot glasses, because I'm not going to make the world.
Well, communication is, for any leader, is probably the most important part of leadership, period. Right?
Right.
I would say almost the second important part is the actual decision making.
What? I gotta make decisions as a leader.
Yeah. By now, or wherever you're at, I'm pretty confident everyone knows how to make a decision, right? Shit or get off the pot. But some people might not have a quite understanding or have enough chutzpah about it. So if you are like almost clueless to if you're making the right decisions or not, here's a Fisher-Price 7 steps.
So I would say I'd caveat / argue this point. People make decisions. Leaders make decisions. Now, how they make those decisions, whether it's I just trust my gut, or I go with what my advisors say, or whatever your process is, there's a better way. There's a better way. Advisors, great. They're not always right. Your gut, that's pretty good. Gut comes from experience and intuition. I'm not dogging it. There's a better way. So, decision making is a process of making choices by identifying a decision, gathering information, and assessing alternative resolutions or decision paths. Right? Using a step-by-step decision-making process can help you make deliberate, thoughtful decisions by organizing the relevant information and defining the alternative. This approach increases the chances that you will choose the most satisfying alternative possible. Now, that being said, the most satisfying alternative possible to who? Because you, being the leader that you are, should not make the most satisfying decision for yourself.
Man.
It should be for the betterment of the company.
Aww. What about me? Me.
When you do better when the company does better. I know this because if you look at like internal companies where like a company has like vertical integration where one company produces a product and that other division of that company has to buy that product. You know, like some will artificially inflate the numbers to make their sales look good. That's not what's best for the company. You're increasing the cost of the company instead of decreasing the cost of the company. And your replacement will decrease that cost and somehow get a grand bonus out of it. It'll be wondering why you were ever hired in the first place.
Because my uncle's the vice president.
I got a job with a firm handshake. No, you didn't. You got the job because I knew the manager. All right, step 1. Identify the decision. To make a decision, you must identify the problem you need to solve or the question that needs to be answered. Clearly, this is key. Clearly define your decision, your problem, your quandary. Whatever it is, you have to clearly define it. If you go, I need to know a better way of doing business, that is not clearly defining your problem.
No.
That is very, very vague. Doing better at business in what way? In lowering costs, in raising profit, in being more efficient, less people, what is it? So, if you misidentified the problem to solve, or if the problem you've chosen is too broad, you're going to knock the decision train off the track before it even leaves the station. If you need to achieve a specific goal from your decision, make it measurable and timely. This is probably I would say the most important step.
Right, because as you identified, if you go too broad, then you're essentially, what are you doing? Throwing a pebble in the ocean here? Hopefully you do something. It's not going to work. So you need to pinpoint that down. Maybe, if you was to get a bucket of that ocean water, and then that kind of narrows your decision or whatever the problem is you need to solve down to just that bucket instead of trying to throw it in the ocean.
I would also, not to interrupt.
No, you're good.
I would also say don't go. It's a middle ground. Don't ask the question that you think needs to be answered. What does Jill do so I can fire her? That's not the question. The question is how to increase productivity within your section. Don't sit there and like headhunt people, right? So if you go too specific on it, What
Correct.
does this one individual do so I can fire them, or what does this person do, or what should my people's responsibilities be? No, don't worry about that. That comes later. Why are you worried about their responsibilities? Well, because I think they're being inefficient. Okay, how do you increase efficiency within your section? Oh, okay. Now we have a clearly defined problem set. What can I do to increase efficiency within my section? Boom. Where's the time waster? Boom. Now you can kind of break it down. Don't go, what does Jill do all day? Fuck.
Yeah, well, and then you're only focused on Jill, like you was explaining, and that's going to be your primary goal. That you don't want your specific question to essentially be a yes or no. Should I fire Jill? Yes or no? That's way too specific, like you was saying. But once you take care of that very important step, as we was just talking about, step 2 would be you need to gather relevant information. Collect some pertinent information before you make your decision. What information is needed, the best sources of that information, and how to get it. The step involves both internal and external. You got to put in a little work, Some information is internal, so you'll seek through the process of a self-assessment. You need to look within, like, yourself, of what's really going on behind the man behind the curtain. Then the other information, the external, like you'll find it maybe online, maybe in some books, some data research, past data. Then keep in mind, you may become bogged down with a lot of information, but it may complicate the process. So the best thing to do is kind of filter out what is not needed, what noise, I guess you would say, and just what can I do for production? Well, Jill wears a red shirt. What the fuck does that got to do with it? Yeah. Jill, that's data.
Okay, great. Have anything to do with production? No. Okay, then what the fuck do I care? And I've found this, and I'm not trying to go any sort of way, but if I'm looking at like political candidates, right? Who should I vote for? Do you know how much noise is out there?
Oh
for
my God.
Everybody? You can get bogged down in a mire of everybody's fucking opinion.
Correct.
But like if you find hard data facts, it's like, oh shit, I found something. But you gotta wade through everybody's fucking opinion of, I don't like this guy because he said this, or I don't like this person because this, and blah 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 blah. That's like, holy shit, I don't care. What's the facts? That's what I need to know. How do I become more productive at work? Or how does my section become more efficient? Okay, look at the facts. The fact that Jill wears the red shirt, that doesn't mean shit. What are they spending their time on? Are they spending their time on YouTube? Or are they spending their time fucking answering emails? Spending time on answering emails? Cool. Do they have any busy work that they're fucking doing that they shouldn't have to do? Yeah? Okay, let's attack that stuff. Let's cut that down.
There's 3 things I don't talk about at work. Well, actually, I try not to talk about it, but sometimes
Politics,
they come up.
Religion, and
raising children.
Good one.
Yeah. There's no way you can tell someone else how to raise their child.
Yeah.
You can't argue religion. You can't argue someone's belief. If I believe in this cup full of Hennessy is right for me, then who are you to argue different?
That's wrong, sir. You
can't. And politics, as you were saying, and that's probably why I'm not a huge political person to be. You got me on this tangent, by the way. Why I'm not a huge political person to start with, because it's all popularity contest up until a certain point. Like you were saying, you got to wade through the bullshit to find the actual facts.
But it's the same with business decisions. Should I make this deal or not? Well, maybe Jill thinks you should make the decision because she likes that company. Maybe Bob thinks you shouldn't make that decision because they don't like his business practices or something. That doesn't matter. Is the business deal make sense for your company? Is it going to increase or decrease your business's wealth? Yay or nay?
Correct.
Boom.
You look for that win-win.
Yes, exactly. So there's a lot of things going on. So you got to make sure that when you are when you're gathering the relevant information, it's actually relevant information and not just people's opinion of the problem. So step 3, you got to identify the alternative. As you collect that relevant information, you'll identify several possible paths of action or alternatives. You can also use your imagination and additional information to construct new alternatives, or use your experience. Hey, I've encountered a similar problem to this, and that problem we did this. I don't see that on the table. Why not? Okay, let's look at it. You're going to list all the possible and desirable being the keyword there, alternatives. For example, if your company is trying to gain more engagement on social media, your alternatives can include paid social media advertisements, a change in your organic social media strategy, or a combination of the two. Another alternative is to cut social media out altogether. Is that desirable? Fuck no. If your whole thing is wanting to sit there and grow your social media presence, then why would you cut it out? That's not a desirable alternative. Ignore that alternative altogether.
Just cut it out. I'm looking to improve. Cut it out. Okay. Well, you're right. It's not a desirable. But, I mean, upon gathering relevant information towards that, maybe the social media push isn't right for your company. Like if I'm a dentist doctor guy, like I do surgery on teeth or some shit, I don't know, something. A doctor isn't really a social media friendly, I think, unless you're doing like cosmetic doctory stuff. But like if I'm replacing kidneys, if I'm replacing kidneys, I mean, social media is not going to help my platform at all. So you're right. I'm gathering the information, and I should go and take it. Hey, need a kidney today? Come see Dr. Dice.
Yeah, the only thing I think that could be beneficial in that case would be like, did you develop a brand new, never before seen procedure to do it that reduces infection or rejection rate or whatever? Then that's relevant information for a person looking to get a transplant. Hey, I developed a way to get pig kidneys to fucking be accepted by the human body, and so now it doesn't really matter. I don't care what blood type you are, I can make it work. Oh shit, that's good information.
We're definitely going Dr. Austin. Fuck Dr. Dice. Dr. Austin all day.
Right, that would be the only way that I can see it being beneficial. Something like that. You gotta get desirable alternative. Your alternative is always, there's more alternatives than people think there are. What's my alternative here? To not do it. Well, I don't want that. Okay, then it's not a desirable alternative.
Well, we're going to close that path off. Let's continue down the other one. I got it. I'm down. Because you're going to weigh your evidence. Step 4 is weigh your evidence. You want to draw your information and emotions to imagine what it would be like if you carried out each of the alternates to the end. Evaluate whether the need identified in step 1 would meet or resolve through the use of each alternative. As you go through this difficult internal process, you'll begin to favor certain alternative, those that seem to have a higher potential for reaching your goal. Identify potential pitfalls for each of your alternatives. Weigh those against the possible rewards. And finally, place the alternatives in a priority order based upon your own value system. Now, if I sign the checks for my company, I pay you and my name's on that check, and you disagree with something that I'm saying, I get that. But apparently I have weighed all my evidence, and this is the direction I'm going. So if I'm the one signing the check, then I'm going to base my decision off my values, not your values, my values. So my values could be different from yours, but I signed the check. Right,
and that's fine. Then I have to decide whether my values are different, or so different from yours that I can no longer work for you. That is an option.
That is.
Right? But the other thing is, and in this situation, I like to create a pro-cons list. I like to write out all my pros and cons. To be able to choose among alternatives, which is step 5, this is the part of the decision-making process where you actually make a decision. Once you've weighed all the evidence, you're ready to select the alternative that seems to be the best for you. You may even choose a combination of alternatives. Your choice in step 5 may very likely be the same or similar to the alternative you placed at the top of your list at the end of step 4. So I go through pro cons. If I'm going, I want to increase efficiency, I want to decrease busy work, I want to, do these things, boom, 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 boom. My alternative is to only slightly decrease these things, but make them work longer hours. But pros, cons, pitfalls, pros, cons, pitfalls. And sometimes just seeing it on a board, I'm like, well, shit, that's got more cons than this one does. And I've weighed them all the same. I'm going to go with one that has less cons. And I'm going to get other people's opinions on these. And then I'm going to choose among the best of the alternatives.
Your thought process there is very similar to mine. I like like you said, I like to write them out. I like the main topic of my pros and cons or whatever. But then what I do is I kind of remember that Choose Your Own Adventure book?
Yep.
If I go to this, then turn to page 7. That's kind of what I internal in my head is, what would happen if I did this? I'm going to turn to page 7. Okay. I died at that end. So we're next. Pros, cons. It's exactly what you're saying, but it's a different look or outlook on exactly what you just said. And I don't know. I like playing little games in my head there.
Well, yeah, no, I 100% agree. Because I did the same thing. I would be like, okay, it's 2 or 4. All right, 4 says you died. Well, shit, I'm going to page 2 then.
I didn't choose that one.
2 says choose 3 or 5. Like, all right, well, 3 or 5. Like, okay, let's both are continuing on. Okay, cool. So I made the right decision there. So let's go on to 3 or 5. Now I got to make a decision here. So it's like you gotta kind of play them out to fruition. And then, the other thing with those is you can get other people to help you. People that have experience, your bosses, your peers. Hey, I'm thinking of doing this. Do you have any experience in this arena? Oh, yeah. I did something similar to that, 2 years ago, and it blew up in my face. Oh, shit, how did it blow up in your face? Actually, the employees rejected my opinion because they had felt X, Y, and Z. I didn't even take that into consideration. Good talk. Okay, let's add that to the cons list. Well, shit, that's a big con, so I'm going to scratch that alternative off the board. Now I got the other one.
Well, I like how you use like, oh, yeah, and then you ask more questions to follow up with it, as opposed to asking someone and it's like, oh, yeah, you don't want to do that. It sucks.
Why?
It just sucks, man. Trust me, you don't want to do that.
But why?
Yeah.
They can't answer why, fuck them.
Obviously, that person is not a good source to utilize.
100%.
But I know you've talked to people like that before, too. Be like, oh, man, I don't like that cigar. Why not? Nah, No.
No, I don't know. Why?
That's why I'm asking why.
I don't understand. What are you doing with your life? Living life.
But now it's time to take action. Step 6, take action. You're ready to take some positive action by beginning to implement your alternative. Shut up, Austin. Your alternative you chose in step 5. Once you made your decision, act on it. Develop a plan, make your decision tangible and achievable. Develop a project plan related to your decision, and then assign tasks to your team or whomever you're assigning the task to, or take the necessary steps you have to yourself to achieve, to make that plan work, to see what happens. That's all it is to it. You made a decision, now go forth and conquer, as you like to say. And let's see where this road takes us.
Right. Because step 7 is review your decision and its consequences. If you're 2 months in, 3 months in, and your decision's not turning out the way you thought it would, why? Ask why.
Yeah.
Keep asking why until you drill down to the root problem. In the final step, consider the results of your decision and evaluate whether or not it has resulted in needs you identified in step 1. If the decision has not met the identified needs, you're going to have to repeat the whole problem-making decision list to make a new decision. For example, you might want to gather more information or different information or different alternatives that you maybe had not considered in the beginning. If good, Take note of what worked for future reference. If not, learn from your mistakes and you begin the process again. It's one of those things. I want to make my people more competitive. Okay, how are you going to make them more competitive? I'm going to get them extra training. Okay, seems like a valid thing. You get them more training, but it's not making you more competitive. Why? Well, they were so busy going to all these training classes that they didn't have time to make sales. Oh, well, all right, let's cut down on the training classes. And are the training classes actually useful? Get your feedback from your people. Hey, do you guys like these? Do you not? What's going on? Oh, yeah, we like it. Yeah, they suck. They're terrible. Like, oh, okay, why are they terrible? Well, they're just telling us everything that we already know. Okay, what would be more beneficial for you? Actually, it'd be more beneficial if I didn't have to spend so long processing orders to the accounting department. Oh, why does that process take so long? Well, it's an outdated form. Well, let's update the form then. Hey, you updated the form, you reduce the unnecessary information to the accounting department. Boom. Your efficiency is increased, your productivity is increased 20%. Oh, shit. How did I miss that at the beginning?
Your scenario reminds me of a form I had to do. Well, it's just a lot of redundant information. Redundant. Like you asked me that at top. Why are you asking me that on back?
Right, yeah, exactly. And then you go to the accounting department, you're like, hey, do you guys need this information? Like, oh, we only need these 3 blocks at the top, and then we throw the rest of it away. We don't even know why you're giving it to us. Wait, you're telling me, wait a minute, this takes like 2 hours to fill this form out. You're telling me you need 15 minutes worth of work? Yeah. Okay, who needs this other information? You go to your boss. No, I don't need that information. The accounting doesn't need the information. The seller doesn't need the information.
This is how we always did it.
Yeah, fuck that. I'm gonna wipe all the rest of the blocks out and give you the top 3. Boom. I decrease the amount of time it takes to fill out that form by, 2 hours, 1 hour and 45 minutes. Oh shit, I just saw a way up increase intake of fucking sales. Look at that. I solved that problem.
I had a friend of mine tell a story where a new CEO or whatever, new boss took over the company. And his first meeting with like all the everyone involved or whatever, management, everybody. And he was like, I'm going to start off by saying, this is fucking stupid. What? Yeah, what? This is fucking stupid. So now everybody's attention, right? Oh, the fucking boss just said this is fucking stupid. I want anyone to raise their hand and tell me something this company does and it's fucking stupid. So, people raise their hand, and of course, it wasn't right away, but some of the mundane tasks and stuff that are just done that are repetitive as whatever, all get out for no reason, he did away with it. He was like, well, I looked into it, and yeah, that was fucking stupid. We're not doing that anymore. So, needless to say, he was a hit for a CEO. He was a hit. Yeah.
Well, it's like the accounting department records the sales, but the salesperson also has to record their sales on a different ledger. Why? Well, that's just how we've always done it, because we got to make sure we bump them once a quarter. Okay, hold on. You're telling me, okay, once a quarter we go through the sales department and the accounting department, make sure all their shit lines up. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. Couldn't we just review the sales department's fucking forms and make sure all the forms are in the accounting department's ledger? Well, yeah. Wouldn't that reduce the amount of time it takes by 4 hours? Yeah. All right, that's fucking stupid. We're getting rid of that shit. We're going to do the process. Okay. Ta-da! I just saved 4 hours fucking a month. That's 4 hours now that everyone else could do something else, make more sales.
I'm just going to announce to the class that there was a bug in my drink, and I'm just going to be honest.
You're still going to drink it?
Yes.
Ain't no hate for yours.
So I mean, we I know we kind of went a little quick. Whatever. We went over the 7 steps. I mean, it's pretty basic. I mean, I'm guarantee you already do it. It's just you go through everything. You go through it so fast you don't actually break down each step in your head. Like, should I get my kid Starbucks? What's the pros and cons to that? It's buy one, get one free today. So I'm going to stop and get Starbucks.
Right.
I mean, I didn't go through the 7 steps. I didn't write them down. I didn't weigh the pros. I didn't do all that. I just did a quick decision making. People, we do that all the time. It's just when it's in my opinion, if it's a super important decision that needs to be made, especially if it's going to affect a team, not just like my kid and Starbucks, if it's going to affect the whole team, I would definitely, take a back seat and actually sit back and go through these steps. I mean, mirror the steps to your needs, but this is the basic format of decision making.
Yeah. It's super simple. The biggest thing is, again, clearly identify the problem you're trying to make. And I like to do that with why? Okay, I need to increase efficiency. Why? Because my people are making this many sales, they're not hitting their quotas on time. Okay, why are they not hitting their quotas on time? Well, because I don't know. Okay, let's gather some relevant information about why they're not meeting their quotas. Oh, it's the form that's slowing them down? Okay, why is the form slowing them down? Is that a problem? Is that something that I could solve? Yes, it is. Okay, why is it slowing them down? Oh, accounting only needs 3 blocks. Okay, but I'm having to fill out like a justification as to the sale. Well, who gives a shit? It's a sale. Why do I need a justification to sell this fucking product and let's sell? That's stupid. Let's go forward. Let's wipe that out and go forward.
Isn't there a tactic that leadership they could use, the 5 whys or 7 whys or whatever? You just ask why all the way down the chain.
Yeah, people call it 5 whys.
5 whys, yeah, not 7.
But basically, it's you ask why until you can't answer, until you just say just because, and then that's your problem, right? Okay, my people aren't making sales. Why? Because they don't have enough time in the day. Why? Because they're too busy on phone calls. Why? Because you keep going, and they're like, oh, okay. Once they do the sale, what do they do then? Well, they got to put it into this form. Why? Well, because the accounting department needs it. Okay, why does the accounting department need it? Well, they got to know which account to charge it to and everything else. Okay, that makes sense. Is there any other unnecessary information on that form? Fuck yeah, there is. Okay, cool. Why is there unnecessary information? Because? Nope, fuck that. What? There's my problem.
Let's go. Let's attack this. Let's write this
problem.
We're gonna circle that on the board here. But that's exactly what we're doing. That's a good step to identify what the decision needs to be made. Where your stem of your problem.
Yep. All right, Dice. It is now time for single, 5-pack, or box-worthy.
Oh. Well, considering that I'm in my final third here.
Oh yeah, let's go for final third, and then we'll do single 5-pack box worthy. My apologies.
Gotcha. Anyway, well, I mean, my final third isn't much different than the second third. Earthy tones kind of wore down some, so it's very mute in that aspect. There's really little to no spice level. I mean, if I had to pick something spice-wise, I would have to say it has a little spice, but it's not even much to really talk about. Creamy and smoothness of it is still there. I can't say it's well constructed because it's still burning a little off kilter to me. Yours is burning off kilter too a little bit because I can see it. But I was curious if mine was like that because of the punch. But you did a straight cut. I don't know if a V cut would garnish the same results. But as of right now, the flavors is really not packed with flavor. I'm smoking a cigar.
Yeah, I get a little white pepper on the lip. But there's not much to it. There's a little earthy, white peppery, but that's about it. There's not much to this cigar. And yeah, like you said, it's burning wonky for both of us. So it, Budget Stick kind of upholds its name right here. Yeah, it's just, like he said, I'm just smoking a cigar. I'm smoking a smoke. So with that being said, single, 5-pack, or box worthy?
It's time to answer the question. Is a cigar box worthy, 5-pack, or just 1 or 2?
Well, if I'm gonna I mean, I'm deciding. It's obviously anybody that's listened to the first and second and final third of this. So it's obvious. It's definitely a 1 or 2. Matter of fact, if I did have a plethora of these, they would probably sit there until I get a novice smoker in my house, which no one comes to my house. But if someone was to, they would probably get one of these to smoke because I wouldn't want them wasting an actual great cigar.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's a 1 or 2 for me as well. I would tend to agree with you that if somebody came to my house, I was like, oh, we're sitting around the patio, we're BS, and I pull out a cigar and I start smoking. They're like, oh, cigar, I want to try one of those. Like, oh, okay. Have you ever smoked a cigar before? No. Okay. Hey, I got a perfect stick for you, man. Here's
Yeah, it's not going to blow them out of the water, and it gives them the same, pretty much a training wheel cigar, I guess you would say.
Yeah, it's not like a Dunbarton or a EP Carrillo where it might knock them on their ass with nicotine or something like that. It's just a nice, simple, easy thing. The construction's not the greatest, but they don't know the difference, so it's a nice introduction.
By all means, I'm not saying it's a shit cigar. I'm just saying is where I can speak for both of us. Where we're at in a cigar smoking game, this is tier 1.
Yeah,
novice area, and we're well above that now. I mean, probably maybe 20 years ago, this has been perfect for me.
Yeah, agreed.
25, 30, however old I am.
All right. Until next time, I'm Stay Austin.
And I'm going to be Dice right here.
And just remember, great leaders smoke great cigars.
Thank you for listening to Leadership of the Leaf. The comments and opinions expressed by the host and guests does not reflect the opinions of those that broadcast this show, nor does it reflect any of our affiliates.